What's up, fam? What's up, fam? And this is the day the Lord has made. And hey, let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Hope TV. We're so excited you've tuned in to get a daily dose of hope. And you've tuned in today to the Marriage Matters broadcast and show on the Hope TV. And we're excited to be here with you today. We started this as something that Andrea was doing with the women's ministry. Ironically, last year.
Last year the same time.
So here's the thing. Second Sunday in March was our last public worship of 2020. So here we are back, in March, almost a year. We hadn't seen our people in a year. We miss you guys so much. Love y'all so much. But I hope you feel our love through the Hope TV and everything we're doing. So welcome, everybody. If you're married, engaged, strongly considering marriage, dating, even singles, you're welcome to enjoy this show. So many people, because you hear it all the time, people.
Mm-hmm. It's just about relationships.
Yeah. So it's really, it really should be about relationships. Yeah, that might be even a better name for the show, because it's really, it's not just about marriage. It is with just the heart of relationships and health relationships. And so we're excited to have you here with us. Everybody who's tuning in, Apple TV, Roku, Twitch, Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, IG Live, the various websites. Welcome. Excited to have you with us. Listen, if you're watching through a platform that will allow you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share, please do that. You're helping us tremendously to grow the platform. We've had over 100 million views of our content. Can y'all believe that? I mean, I was driving them crazy the last couple of months, but now you look back at it, man, it was all worth it. We had over 100 million views of our content in less than a year, and that we say to God be the glory. So thank you, welcome. Hit that share button. You want somebody to have some good, wholesome, inspirational conversations on relationships, or just whatever kind of relationship it may be. Hit that share button to help us get the word out. Last week we had a couple that we really admire and appreciate.
For a long time.
Yeah, you invited to be a part. They're from Miami, and we had them, and it was such a great conversation. We will have them back with us today, and that is Pastor Nathan and Lady Kim Austin from Miami, Florida. What's up, fam?
Hey, family.
Hi.
Hey,
How y'all doing?
we're back.
Good.
Yeah, back again. I didn't talk about the church, because the church is not in Miami. It's right. Is it
Pompano Beach. Yes, Pompano Beach.
Yeah. I'm so sorry we didn't talk about the church last week. But talk about the church. How long you been there? And how people can find the church, and we got a lot of people who watch from Florida, and so
yes,
some people who may be connected with us.
Sure, we are Zion Church Pompano. We're in Pompano Beach, Florida. This is my 10th year. Never shall forget 10 years ago. While you were in Florida, you preached there, and thankfully it doesn't look the same as when you were there. And God is blessing us to launch a building program, and so by His grace, we'll be breaking ground perfectly by the end of this year, early part of 2022. So God has been kind. He's been gracious to us, even in the middle of a pandemic.
Kim, 10 years ago, it was the first pastorate, and they had one, the oldest son. No, they haven't kids.
No, he was in the belly.
No,
He was in the.
When we first got there, yeah.
She was pregnant.
Yeah.
She was pregnant when we got there. Yeah.
Yep, when we got there. And y'all share the same birthday.
On your birthday.
Yep, June 30th.
That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, no wonder I like him so much. Yeah. How's that been? Making that adjustment, pastor's wife, pastor's spouse, pastoring, mothering, all in 10 years.
Everything's been good. My children love it. That's all. They church kids. I don't want to say unfortunately, but all things are church with them. So, all things church. You got to break them out of it. If it's not church, it's doing what the daddy do from church. My oldest one, he uploads easy worship on his laptop, because that's what he sees dad does. And whatever church, it's all things church. So
Punishment for him, for especially my oldest one, is not doing church.
right,
That's
the
punishment.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
The other one is a little different. He go another
Like his mom,
direction.
like his
So listen, so Kim, I'm really gonna be praying for you during this building process
Yeah.
because
Oh,
it takes
thank you.
a toll. It takes a toll on the home when the
Yeah.
pastor is in a building process. After he cuts the ribbon and breaks ground, then y'all gonna take the vacation. But you're gonna have to take the book that you guys wrote,
Oh,
the Ten
man.
Commandments of
Okay.
Love, on vacation, so you can remember
Okay.
that when you get back.
If I do all these commandments, it might get me on vacation sooner, huh? No.
She might call you to help her with your specialty, with your talent. She might need you.
Well, we went through the first 5 commandments, the 10 commandments of love, fam, and everybody who's watching. If you didn't check out last week, make sure you go back and check it out. We went through the first 5, just took a brief, journey through them, and we're gonna go through the next 6 today, next 5 today. But you talked about 6 was about using your words. Is that correct? What are you use your words? I think.
Yeah, the
No, thou should not
sixth
kill. Thou should not
commandment.
kill. Thou should not kill.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
right. So that is a literal translation from the original. Thou shalt not kill, and of course, it's not. Not talking about physical death in the book. We're talking about verbal death, and how every couple argues, fights, has disagreements, but that disagreement does not give you the license to kill. That hurt, that argument, whatever you call it, does not give you the license to kill. When you know your spouse so well, you know where the kill shot is.
Right.
And you have to, literally in the book we says, you have to be willing to lose one battle and ultimately still win the war, and a lot of couples don't want to do that. They want to win that battle, and so they know what to say to win. And sometimes, ultimately, that can cause you to really lose the war.
Right.
And so, we thought that was a very important chapter in our book.
Right. And you kind of don't want to walk around with that one in the chamber waiting for that moment to pull the trigger. It's sort of say, if that makes sense. And a lot of times when you angry, and sometimes, let's be real, we angry ahead of time. We're angry for so long about something, whatever it is, and we're just waiting on that moment to be able to pull it out and shoot what we know is that trigger for that person. And it can mess you up sometimes mentally. It can mess up a person depending upon what that trigger is. Especially as a woman, you should never want to condemn your man or your spouse. And as a husband or as a man, you should never want to do the same to your companion or your spouse.
I think that's good
Yes.
because a lot of times we say stuff and we can't take it back, but the other person can't let it go. So it's like,
Right.
we have to choose our words so
Playing tug of
it won't
war.
have long-term repercussions. Right, right.
Listen, if you married to somebody with an elephant brain, then they can't ever forget what you said.
So what you
So
talking
that
about, Nate? Who are you talking about, Nate?
I'm not talking about my friend. I'm just saying that you can't, when you marry to somebody like that, it's hard because they can analyze it and they can remember the date and time that you said it. And so, but also what's significant about it is it's, if you've forgiven someone for something, you use the right to be able to kill them with it. Because if you say you forgave them, then you can't kill them with it. And that's deep for couples.
That's good.
I remember some years ago, I had to be mid-20s, maybe 26, maybe 27. We had just got married, and my sister called me one Sunday. She was engaged to this guy, and we thought we were gonna get married. And she called me just going off, man. Just bawling. I thought somebody had died. And she said to me that the guy had hit her, jumped on her. So I got in my car and I got my stuff with me, and Hunter and I were over there. And
Wait, tell them that I said.
yeah, she said don't bring it. She said just wait a minute because you don't know the whole story. But this is my sister. You know what I'm saying? And I never,
Right.
but I had never heard her. I never heard her like that before. I never heard her like that. This is my sister. So I knew she could be my sister, but not like that. I heard fear and terror. I heard terror. So man, I got out there and I was really gonna hurt this dude. I mean, I was pastoring everything. I was gonna hurt him. And when I got there, and he was like, oh. So what's going on? You know, man, she told me she should have stayed with her other boyfriend. She never should have got with me. Because, you know, he was way more blessed, he way more endowed than I am.
Lord.
That's not how she said it, but
Right.
that's the gist. That's the PG version.
And
I
killed
said, I tell you what, I'm gonna walk out this house. Whatever you got to do it again. Don't ever call me back again.
Yeah. Right.
But really, honestly, their relationship probably ended right then.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, she killed him that day.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that. So it's interesting you said that. So that was 6. Thou shalt not kill. That was 6. What's 7? 7.
7 was thou shalt not cheat.
Yeah, literally. That's obvious. Another literal translation of the original. Cheating, and of course, again, cheating can be found in various forms, but we literally talk about the physical act of cheating. That in many cases can be the death sentence for a relationship. But we do talk about the process of cheating. The mental, because a lot of times people cheat mentally long before they cheat physically. And so you have to be careful when you have mental thoughts, because if your mind is already gone, then it's not far behind that your body's going to follow that. And so, yeah, I mean, thou should not cheat. I mean, it's important.
And I want to encourage engaged couples while you're having these discussions and these talks. Know what your points are. Know what your boundaries are. Have those discussions up front, so there's no misunderstanding about it, and you know which direction you want to go in when it's time to make decisions to go in those directions. So that's another reason that I encourage couples, people in relationships, to possibly get the book, read the book, and so you have an understanding of what direction you want to go in and when you need to be like Dewey's sister and check out sooner before you kill and do this other stuff.
Yeah.
And again, we stress that this book was not written from a place of perfection. It was written in a place of pain. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the commandments, we had to work through them ourselves. And so I think that's important for the audience to know, because oftentimes people read books and they're thinking it's coming from a perfect place, and it's not.
It's still not perfect.
It's still not perfect. I can testify that at the point mentally, I think we both had started checking out mentally at the point of writing this, and it was not going to be long until we physically was in it. And so for us, we hold ourselves accountable even for the mental process of cheating. So yeah.
It's funny you said that. My brother and I had a conversation. He's finishing up his MD of Master Divinity, and we were talking about some of the books and some of the professors, and I made a statement to him. I said, man, it's funny, some of the classes that you're taking, some of these professors, the things they're teaching, they ain't never done. You got somebody teaching you on church administration who never pastored a church.
Right.
And it's one of his other mentors who helps people get churches and always giving them an insight about what to do when they become a pastor. Had never pastored. I said, So I'm just real suspect of people who got so much to say, but had not the experience behind it. So you talk about this book. It ain't just theory. You're not talking from a theoretical perspective.
Right. No. This is real talk.
Hit home.
Right. Trent, I think for any book to be impactful, it should come from a transparent place. These are not just words that sounds good. We literally went through this process of recognizing our own faults and failures. This book, when we started the process, I think we were around the halfway point. So
Probably could do a part 2 now.
right, and this right, we can do a part 2 of this now. But again, it's not written from a place of perfection. So don't look at us and say, because we've been through a lot of the commandments we broke. We'll just put it that way.
And you have another chapter. The next chapter it's going to be thou shalt have integrity.
Yeah, I mean that is false witness, lying, integrity. I'm a pastor. Don't live near the church, and so everywhere I go, my wife is not with me. She needs to have integrity to know that if I say I'm going to be here, I'm there. I hadn't always had that level of integrity. And so that's important in any relationship. You don't want to be that woman or that spouse that has to check through cell phones and we don't have passwords in our phones, or nothing is locked. Because we have integrity. We want to feel that if I leave my phone down, I'm not going to jump in the hives because I left my phone home and I got to stop everything I'm doing to go grab my phone before she go through it. That's not integrity. And so that's important in relationships.
It's not even a marriage.
I mean, how many people do we see on a daily basis, if they don't have their phone under the mattress when they're sleeping, they can't rest at night? Right. I never wanted to be that type. Right. I lose everything anyway. So if I do something, it sure can't be in my phone. And I've been and got caught. I lose
mine every day. I lose mine every day.
Right. Right.
And even with the integrity, it's really important because, like he mentioned, social media has destroyed a lot of people and a lot of relationships. And you shouldn't even want to see yourself in the light once you put something out there. Sometimes your spouse's or your companion's action, it has to bring about an evaluation of yourself. Whether they're right or whether they're wrong. If you're being truthful with yourself, you kind of evaluate, like, how did we get to this point, or what did we do, or whatever. And that goes along with integrity. Not saying what they did is right or not saying what they did is wrong, but you have to evaluate your role in it. So when you go out there putting stuff out there, social media and stuff like that, it tests your integrity as well. So.
And I misspoke. That's the thou shalt not steal is integrity. Right. The next one deals with something else, but I misspoke on that. But stealing is integrity. If someone can't leave something by you and they can't trust you with it, then you lack integrity. Yeah. But again, integrity is just very important in a relationship.
Yeah, and I think that's important not only for couples. I think that's important in life. Whether it be, a work relationship with your children. Have integrity for them to set that example. So I think that's a great.
Right. If you say you're going to be there, be there. If you say you're going to do it, do it. If you say you're going to pay for it. Don't, you're right. Any type of relationship, marital, if it's just a parental relationship, you got to have integrity. Because without your word, what do you have?
Yeah. And you talk about the word and then being truthful, not lying. They kind of intertwine, but they can't stand alone at the same time. Being truthful.
Right. That's bearing false witness. And in the book, we talk about the truth of where you are in the relationship, being true to how you're feeling. We didn't realize that we were in a relationship that had no space for truth. That we felt we could not be truthful with each other without the other taking offense. And so if I speak my truth, you shouldn't jump into defense mode. You have to respect that that's my truth, even if you don't feel it's the truth, but it's the truth the way I see it. And we may have to discuss or argue a lot of times about that, but it's my truth. If it's your truth, then you have to respect that. And so we did a little twist on it, as you said, dude, because the two can't intertwine, but we wanted to make emphasis on the fact of your spouse, your mate, has to be willing to tell you the truth. Because I don't want, neither one of us want the truth to be told to boyfriends and girlfriends, and because they can run with it and manipulate it. But we have to be truthful with each other. And so we think that that's imperative in a relationship.
Right. He always says, one of the things he says is, his perception is his reality. So regardless of how, I feel, if I made him feel a certain way, his perception is his reality. And sometimes we don't consider that when we're thinking about the other person. So I think that's an awesome thing to talk about.
Right. It's your truth.
And my biggest thing was at the time, when I tell you my truth, accept it, deal with it. Don't try to analyze it and try to tell me why it's true but not true, based on your perception, because my perception is my reality, and that just that kills it every time. I told you my truth and you trying to analyze it, and when it get a yeah but just something there, some kind of conjunction that just let here we go. And that's the most frustrating part, because that's when they're not hearing you. They saw the words, they got the words, but they're not hearing what the words mean and valuing what you are saying. And even though they may value you and love you and all at the same time, but you don't value my words and my feelings, then that says a lot. You calling BS before I can even get the whole thing out. You don't cut me off. That
don't
is
tell
just,
all my business.
right,
Now you telling it all now.
I'm just talking in general how stuff happen with couples. So.
I know I've been guilty, and many people that are watching this can probably testify to this. I've been guilty of trying to talk her out of her truth, because I don't want to hear it. I don't think that's the truth. So I will try to talk you out of that truth. But in reality, if it's her truth, I have to respect it. And sometimes it's worth investigating how they arrive to that level of truth. And so marriage is work, man. Relationships are work. It's not just a cookie cutter. The introduction of the book is not luck. That's how we introduce the book. That we didn't just luck up on 18 years. It's been work. Right. And so people think that it's lucky. No, it's more than luck involved in it, and a lot of people just not willing to do the work, and that's the problem.
The thing about it, I think something you said was very key, that for everybody who listened, the truth can't hurt. I think but what's significant and what's most important, the intention can't be to hurt. And that's what the heart of the person is. It's like, is this person trying to hurt me? Are they trying to share their heart, or are they trying to break mine? And I think a lot of times, before you can really receive, it's like, are they trying to share their heart with their truth,
right?
Or are they trying to break mine? And I think to answer that question sometimes can help you to take the truth more, but the truth can't hurt, and
right,
it can't.
We can't use it to kill.
Exactly.
Yeah, go back to the sixth commandment.
Yeah, put those
right. It all starts flowing together. And do we have, as preachers, we have the perception of knowing how to. There's some truths we got to tell in the pulpit, but we have to, as the Bible teaches us, say it in love. It's the truth, certain things about marriage, male and female. It's the truth. But we know we have some people, when we say this, it's going to offend some people in our congregation, but it doesn't stop us from telling it. It may teach us how to approach it better. And so there are times where we have to understand that this truth is going to hurt the other person. So let me figure out how I can tell it without it being a kill shot.
Yeah.
Even though it's the truth.
That's good.
Right. And then we're going to hit the last one, which is be content with what you have. So on that
So
one, are you talking about, I mean, materialistically, or are you talking about what you have between you guys, or how's that handled in the book?
both that commandment, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, being content with what you have, especially for men. We get into I hit 40, and I'm noticing myself in this getting into this midlife crisis thing, and we tend to start looking at other things, other people, and saying, well, she's got more of this, and hers a little more plump than, just all these things, not realizing that, Negro, you getting bigger too, you getting grayer too. There's some things about you that are not as well as it was 20 years ago, and you must be content with what you have, because honestly, there's always going to be someone with a bigger breast, bigger backside, maybe prettier. So if that's what you're looking for, that chase will never end. You have to be content with what you have and not try to covet what someone else has in a spouse. But we also talk about material things too, as a couple, knowing where you are financially, spiritually. Don't covet another relationship, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to vacation. You may can't vacation out of the country. You might just can go out of town. You got to be content with what you can do. If not, then your whole relationship
Together, you
going
gotta be
done
content
together. I can't do what this. I might admire what they can do. We might can make that a goal one day, but we can't. Because when you don't, if you're not content, at some point you will begin to try to compete, and that's where the danger zone can kind of fall. A lot of couples trying to compete with each other,
Right.
and it sometimes ends to the doom of their relationship.
And then they say the grass is not always greener on the other side. So if you
Lord,
if you watering some grass and you ain't content, you better keep on watering.
Right, grass
If
may
you
have
want to
COVID.
be, you don't
You
know
never
what
know.
that you want that green grass. You better keep on doing what it takes to keep that grass green, which means you have to do the work and put your time in and do the work.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just, I mean, I think the practicality of what you did, the steps and the structure of it all, I think is powerful. And I just, I mean, people can be really inspired and enriched by what you guys have in that book. I think it's powerful. I can't wait to get you guys to come and share some of this, at some point, even with the church here in Atlanta. So I'm grateful to you. What kind of testimonials or reports have you gotten from people who read the book so far?
Wow. It's been amazing in this season. We first released the book, of course, we released it to our members, and a phenomenal response. God has blessed us to be able to do marital workshops, and we're doing a lot more of those before the pandemic. But amazingly, since the pandemic, we've been doing a lot of virtual marital counseling, to the point where I'm almost trying to see if I need to market this. We didn't realize that this quarantine highlighted a lot of flaws in a lot of relationships, and so we've been spending time just trying to help couples in this reality, because when you were able, both parties were going to work, and it was so much separation that a lot of couples didn't realize that they didn't even like each other, in this season. And so this book is very practical. It's not long. I'm a very simple person. I'm not I'm an online book reader. I'm not that. So I wanted to write the book to where anybody can read it, whether you're an avid reader or a beginner reader. And so we wanted to make sure that it was very practical. That's one thing that everything we do in our church and our relationship is very practical. So it's not super deep. You can sit down, take notes in it. It's pages where you can literally write and compare notes. And so it's been phenomenal.
Kim, how's it impacted you?
It's had a first it was kind of, it took me a minute to see the impact, because most, like he said, it was our members, and I'm like, yeah, they passed the road a book, So someone was gonna buy it regardless. So it was but we
They be hating on the
we
people at the church. Man, some people love me.
we we did some marital counselings, and it started with some friends of ours that he married years ago, and they came back and they had been married a few years, and they were at the point we were at, and we kind of saw that, and they asked for counseling, and so they were like our first testers of the book, like true outside of the members and stuff. So he told them to go read it, and then he told me about it, and we talked about it, and then he shared it with them, and then to hear them and their feedback and their story being so similar to ours, and they were able to gain a lot of perspective, and we kind of had some of the same perspective from it writing it as we heard them. So that let me know that we were on the right track and we were doing good, and it wasn't just a member thing. And then so from there it began to grow, and we began to promote it with a lot of married couples, our engaged couples, and we got a lot of inboxes about how it was and people that really liked it. And it made me feel real fulfilling when it was people from outside that we did not even know, and they began to say some of the same things. So that's always a good feeling. So you trust, they say poor is a frog that don't praise his own pond. So you take that at face value, but then when you get outside love and like and shares and things like that, that kind of lets you is more self-fulfilling. So
That's great. Guys, this has been awesome. You want to say something?
Okay.
Listen, so tell us about how they can contact the church, and then tell us how to get the book. And man,
Uh,
it's,
of course, it's definitely on Amazon. Type in the 10 Commandments of Love. It should pop up. Last time we were on here a few months ago, several people bought the book, and so we were honored about that. It's also on positiontoprosper.org/TCL. So that's our church website, Position to Prosper /TCL, which is the 10 Commandments of Love. And certainly you can purchase it there. And if there are pastors or other ministries that want to bring us in virtually or in person, if you're in a COVID-free environment, we would love to share our experience with you. We're a very fun young couple, and we just like to help couples. Again, it's not just for married couples. It's for people that are dating, single, thinking about it. You want to read this book, especially before you say I do.
thank you for sharing the past 2 weeks. We bid you Godspeed. And I thank a lot of you both and your family and your ministry, and just thanks for spending this time with us. And hope that God's blessings continue are upon you and everything that you touch, your business, family, and ministry. God's gonna keep you strong.
thank you so much. We love you guys as well.
Family, you've been watching this episode of Marriage Matters with the Austins. Please go get that book. The information is on the screen. I want you to get it, support it, and share it with somebody who you know can be encouraged and inspired by it. We appreciate you being a part of Marriage Matters, and on behalf of Andre and I and Hope TV, thank you for being a part. And we're gonna log off and close this session out. But as always, remember this: if you will be good to God, then God will be good to you. Till next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Get the book.